Tetris on mobile is one of those fascinating examples of how a timeless classic gets reshaped for the modern age, and the version developed by N3 is both a celebration of the original's simple, elegant gameplay loop and a reimagining designed to keep players engaged in a world where mobile gaming is all about constant progression, live events, and a sense of connection with others. At its core, this is still Tetris. Familiar falling tetraminos, the satisfaction of fitting them together to clear lines, and that hypnotic rhythm of problem-solving under pressure. But everything around that core has been layered with new systems, presentation choices, and community features that attempt to make the old feel fresh without losing what made it enduring in the first place. When you first boot it up, what strikes you is the clean, modernized interface, crisp visuals, smooth animations, and vibrant color palettes that give each tetramino a sleek identity while still keeping the grid readable, which is essential in a game where clarity means survival. The developers wisely avoided going too flashy or abstract with the art style, instead respecting the minimalist foundation of Tetris but dressing it up for a mobile era where polished presentation matters. The soundtrack follows a similar philosophy. Instead of relying solely on the iconic Koro Beniki theme, the game blends in a rotating selection of modern, upbeat tracks designed to keep you focused and energized through long sessions. Sound effects maintain that punchy feedback loop, rewarding you with crisp snaps and satisfying chimes every time you drop a piece perfectly or clear multiple lines in succession. But what truly separates this mobile edition from a straight emulation of old-school Tetris are its modes and progression systems. Beyond the classic endless mode, there are time-limited challenges, competitive events, and even seasonal content. Drops. The developers leaned heavily into daily missions and rotating tournaments to give players reasons to return, and they've tied these into a progression system with rewards that include cosmetic changes, leaderboard placements, and sometimes boosts or limited time mechanics. This structure taps into the same psychology that fuels mobile gaming at large. That steady drip of progression, the sense that each short session contributes toward something bigger, whether it's climbing a global leaderboard or unlocking a cosmetic that makes your Tetris grid feel uniquely yours. And yet, while this works in keeping the game relevant, it also means the experience is no longer purely about zen-like puzzle solving. There's a constant nudge to log in daily, to participate in the latest themed challenge, to compete against others rather than just yourself. Some players love this added layer of engagement, while others argue it clutters the purity of Tetris, which has always thrived on its minimalist design and its infinite replayability without needing carrots on a stick. Controls are another key element of any Tetris adaptation, and on mobile, the solution here is touch-based swiping. You drag to move tetraminos left or right, tap to rotate, and swipe down to hard drop. It's intuitive enough for casual players, and the responsiveness is generally solid, but it will never quite match the tactile precision of physical buttons or a D-pad. That said, this version does include customizable sensitivity options, letting you tweak how quickly pieces slide or how forgiving the game is with rotations, which goes a long way toward accommodating both casual players and competitive-minded veterans. Performance-wise, the game runs smoothly across most modern devices, with no lag or stutter during play, which is crucial given the razor-thin reaction times required at higher levels. The UI and UX design deserve praise for balancing complexity with clarity. Menus are simple to navigate, progression rewards are clearly communicated, and you can always hop straight into a match within seconds, which fits the mobile philosophy of play anywhere, anytime. Monetization, of course, is a part of the package. The game is free to play, supported by ads and optional in-app purchases. Ads are usually placed between matches or when claiming rewards, and while not overly intrusive, they do disrupt the seamless, meditative flow that Tetris can create. There are options to remove ads with a purchase, as well as microtransactions tied to cosmetic skins or event passes. It's not the most aggressive monetization model out there, but it does feel at odds with the timeless simplicity of the original design. Some longtime fans may resent the way this classic puzzle has been wrapped in modern free-to-play trappings, while newer audiences raised on mobile ecosystems may find the structure perfectly normal, even appealing. Replayability, however, remains sky high because Tetris is, at its core, infinitely replayable. No two games ever unfold the same way, and the escalating pace ensures that sessions always end with a sense of challenge rather than boredom. The layered progression systems give players more external goals, but the intrinsic drive, beating your personal high score, surviving just one level longer, pulling off a clean Tetris at high speed, remains as addictive as ever. Community. Reception has been mixed but generally positive. Casual players praise the accessibility, the clean visuals, and the event-driven structure, while purists sometimes complain about the distractions of monetization and live service elements. Compared to other modern adaptations like Tetris Effect, which leaned heavily into audio-visual immersion, this N3-to-Work edition is much more focused on accessibility and engagement for mobile users who want quick, repeatable sessions with a social hook. Overall, this mobile Tetris is both a tribute and a transformation. It succeeds in keeping the essence intact. Simple yet endlessly deep gameplay, quick-hit accessibility, satisfying feedback, while layering in modern systems to keep it competitive in the crowded mobile landscape. Whether you see that as necessary evolution or unwanted clutter depends on how you feel about what Tetris should be in 2025. A pure minimalist puzzle you can lose yourself in, or a constantly updated platform that treats even the simplest game as a service. Either way, it proves that decades later, Tetris is still one of the most addictive and resilient designs in gaming history, capable of adapting again and again without ever losing that magical core loop of fitting pieces together and watching lines vanish in a rush of satisfaction.